Hey, what's up, everyone? Uh, my friends on League and in real life have been talking to me a lot lately about how to climb Elo. Now that the new season has started or whatnot, a lot of people plateaued last season and just stopped caring and got to like whatever like gold rank they wanted. So now that the new season started, they want to try a lot harder and want to break that plateau of skill level they got to or whatnot. And I just want to make this video explain to you guys how, at least I did, climb out of low elo. I think the deepest I plummeted to was back season 1. I actually fell to almost 400 elo. So I think I was like bronze 10 in today's equivalent. I mean, I wasn't even ranked. Back then you actually had to earn a rank. So it was pretty bad. And it wasn't until season 5 that I actually got diamond. So I'm actually still a fresh diamond. I'm still trying to break my plateau for diamond elo. So hopefully, maybe this season, shit, I could possibly go for challenger. I'm aiming for master, but definitely trying for challenger if possible. But yeah, quick tips for each elo. So we'll start with bronze. I'm main support, so most of the tips I'll give you guys is due to support. I'm pretty sure, at least I think so, some of you watch me because I play support. If not, I can also explain to you guys how to carry with a carry such as mid lane or jungle. But for bronze elo, if you are trying to climb as a support main, I honestly recommend that if you do decide to stick as a support bronze and you try to climb as support, I really recommend you picking more aggro heavy or more playmaking type supports. But just make sure they're aggro, and what I mean by aggro, I just mean that they do a lot of damage in lane. So even if your ADC isn't doing damage, which more than likely is going to happen, then at least you can make up for that and be able to take over with damage. So examples such as those kind of aggro supports would be like Lulu, or it would be like characters like Brand. Also Karma, she's a real pain in the butt with her damage and the shielding and whatnot. With that being said, we'll go into silver, and with silver it's the same thing. Just pick more aggro supports. Be the one to control the damage that's being put out, and just make sure that the damage is being dealt to the correct carry and all that kind of stuff. The only time you can really start playing utility champions is or utility supports is once you start breaking into gold, because that's when people like start doing actual damage or actually start caring about what the hell they're doing. Graves, get off me. And then holy crap, get off. Also with the whole aggro support, like I said, you know, you want to be the playmaker. You want to be the one who takes the incentive in order to make the play. So things like Thresh or Leona, those are perfect ones. You know, those are ones that you can throw an ult in, probably hit 3 different people, and boom, there's the initiation. More than likely your team is going to want to run up on that, so you know, boom, there goes your initiation. Perfect. Things like Thresh, you know, you get a hook, people are going to want to jump on it. Now, one big problem I have that people keep telling me is that, well, when I do make those plays, my team doesn't initiate and blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, that's because they're not paying attention. That's the whole reason why people are low elo, is because people don't pay attention. So it's up to you to make sure that your team is around and is actually looking. Like, don't just go ahead and just make plays just because you see a play. Like, you have to make sure that your team is there in order to back you up in the play that you're making. Like, a lot of this stuff is put on your shoulders. That's why, you know, it's usually called solo queue, because a lot of the plays and a lot of the decisions that are going to be made are going to rest heavily on your shoulders, and it's your responsibility to make sure that your team is gonna do stuff with the advantage you just gave them by landing a 3-man stun with Leona, or you just caught their carry with a hook from Thresh and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, that's about with silver. It's just really just be the playmaker. Stuff like that. Just play aggro heavy champs. Same with bronze. Just pick super aggro and try to carry your team by you doing the damage, because more than likely, you know, the people you're playing with aren't going to be the ones to do that. For gold players, they still don't know much about the game, so most of the stuff they do is all subpar. Laning is subpar, objective control is subpar, all that kind of good stuff is subpar. But the main thing with gold is that a lot of people are still focused on laning phase, and they still scream out GG, and they still like complain that, oh, this guy's camping me, or oh, I went, or some random somebody went freaking 0-3 in lane. It's like those things don't really matter. What's most important in gold elo is how you do during the mid game, because during the mid, that's where most of the plays are going to be coming out of, is during mid game. That's where a lot of gold players are completely clueless. They don't know how to end the game. I mean, well, even plat and under, they still don't know how to end the game. They still get distracted by too many things. Like, ooh, I have enough gold to buy a new item, I'm gonna back here. Well, it's like, why are you backing when you could have taken that turret? Instead, you were too tunnel visioned on, you know, your 2200 gold, and ooh, I'm gonna be able to get an Infinity's Edge, or ooh, I'm gonna be able to have a death cap after this fight because I just got a double or triple kill. It's like, yeah, that's fine, but you got to push down the objectives. It's like getting more items is fine, but so is taking turrets, and you can, the shop is always going to be there. You're not going to lose gold. So like, always go for objectives first. Always try to push as much as possible and help your team, and be aware where they are, and always be there to make the play. One thing with being the one to make plays, a lot of people don't know that you have to adjust your play according to what summoner spells you have. So let's say as a support, we're usually going to be going with Flash and Exhaust. So with Flash and Exhaust, with me as Zillion or whatnot, well, I have like a third summoner spell because of my ultimate. I can res, so I can play way more riskier than other supports can, because not only do I have my Flash or my Exhaust to help me make a play, but I also have my ult that'll reset the play that just occurred if shit goes south. So at least for my Zillion, depending on what cooldowns I have, I will adjust my play according to those summoners or cooldowns. And so let's say these two, let's say I was playing Zillion and these two came after me or whatnot. If I have Flash, I'm gonna play as aggro as possible until I'm pretty much at like 2 health. As soon as that happens, I gotta make sure the autos aren't coming in, and then I'm gonna try and, you know, flash out and make the play or whatnot. Same thing with Exhaust. If you know if you know you can make a play and you know he's gonna try and engage in order to kill you because he sees you at low health, just be prepared to throw the Exhaust out. You know, you throw out the Exhaust, he comes in, tries to blow you up. Half his damage is completely gone, so it's not going to work. Determining damage from other champions takes time, and also reading what kind of armor penetration, magic penetration, and so forth they have to adjust for the damage reduction that your Exhaust is going to do. But that comes with just time and patience of knowing and playing League of Legends. So that one is a little bit harder to. That was a little bit harder to manipulate. Well, I just completely fucked up. I thought that had way less health. But again, for gold, don't worry. I mean, you can still practice your laning phase, but definitely the most important part about gold is that people do not know how to end the game. You need to learn how to play mid game, and you need to learn how to manipulate it in order for your team to be able to rotate around the map and push down as much as possible. Just push, and try to end the game. Don't worry about items and all that kind of stuff. If you see objectives that are taken because there's 4 dead, go ahead and take that objective. The shop is always going to be there. It can never blow up. No one can ever take it from you. You'll always keep the gold that you have as well. So don't be scared to go out there and make sure to end the game, because that's the most important part when it comes to gold elo. Same for plat, except this time they're a little bit better at laning, so you're gonna actually have to learn how to manipulate the laning phase. You're going to have to play a little bit more aggressive, because once you hit Diamond LO, people are really aggressive. People, if you don't play aggro, basically they yell at you. Like, everyone wants to make a play in Diamond. Everyone wants big, beefy kills and high CS. So what you need to do is you need to learn, while you're still in Plat, you need to learn how to play the lane. You need to learn how to play it well. At that point, Plat players, they know how to control their damage. They know they're pretty confident in whatever champion they're playing. They're relatively knowledgeable at their power spikes and all that good stuff. So you can be confident in what they're going to do for your team. So at that point, you can start playing utility champions such as Zillion and Janna and stuff like that, and Soraka as well. But I mean, Soraka's just broken, period. So it doesn't matter where you play her, except Bronze. I'm pretty sure she's useless Bronze because people don't understand. But yeah, with Plat, it's the same thing. You learn mid-game off gold, because mid-game in gold literally lasts forever. I mean, eventually it turns into late game, but even then it's still being played like it's mid-game. So it's just complete manipulation of the map. You need to learn how to play that mid-game really well. And then in Plat it's the same thing, but this time you're also going to have to learn how to play the laning phase, and you have to learn it well. Once you break into Diamond, usually it's the same thing, except you have to do whatever you did in Gold and Plat a lot better. I'm still pretty plateaued at Diamond 5. Like, I just recently did my placements, all that kind of stuff. You know, from the last video you saw I hit Gold 1, but now I'm Plat 3 again. And last season I hardcore plateaued at Diamond 5. So I'm definitely not going to do that this season. So pretty much what we're going to do is we're just going to fine tune our mechanics and just keep going and see what we can do to improve. I know there's constant mistakes I made during the preseason that I kept hitting myself for it, and it's just not good. But that should be the explanation for the LOs. Now into actual tech about League of Legends when it comes to the nitpicking and all that kind of stuff. You know, when people say it's like, oh, you gotta do this at this LO and you gotta do that at this LO, it's like, yeah, that's all correct, but those are extremely vague, and people don't really break down like what you necessarily need to do. They just say it's like, oh, just play better, just play better. It's just like, well, there's a lot more to it than that. Like, there's actual practice that comes into actually playing League of Legends and mastering champions and stuff like that. My best advice that I give to my friends and all that kind of stuff is, like, when you try to climb, obviously you're going to need 2 roles, especially with the whole dynamic queue. Now you're forced to play a second role. You can't just be like mid or feed. It's like, because, you know, your primary thing might be mid, but let's say you pick jungle as your secondary. It's like you might sometimes end up as a secondary jungle, and you can't just go in there and be like mid or feed. It's like, well, no, because you got places jungle, you can't do that. I mean, you can, sure, but more than likely someone's going to dodge, or your team's just going to hate you and troll anyways. So just pick 3 champions. Shit, even 2. And to be honest, there's nothing wrong with being a one-trick pony, so fuck it. If you want to, just master 1 champion. I mean, in reality, I'm a one-trick pony. With my Zillion, God knows how many games I have on him. Easily 1,500 plus. What the hell? Why am I buying that? Easily 1,500 plus games on him. And technically, yeah, I am a one-trick pony with Zillion. But I also do very well with Thresh and Leona. If somehow Zillion, I just am not able to pick him, I pick Thresh or Leona. Also for my mid-game, my main champions are Brand, Malzahar, and Lux. So I have those. And depending on how your champion plays, you need to understand what their mechanics are. Are they a combo champion? Are they a siege champion? Are they a utility champion? Like, stuff like that. It's like, what can they do for your team, and like, how are you gonna optimize your damage on enemy team when it comes to things like that? Now with Malzahar, he's a huge combo champion, and what I mean by that is that you need to be able to land your Q, W, E, and Alt all in roughly around 2 seconds because of GCDs. And you need to learn how to combo that all into one huge combo and nuke your target. And the way I did that was by doing this. I would just constantly 1v5 bots over and over and over. Same with Zillion with his double Q thing. There's this thing in fighting games, they call it feathering the pad or the fight stick or whatnot. And what that is that you hover over the two buttons that you're about to combo with, and literally you feather your fingers to where right as you hit the first button, the second button's gonna come out immediately afterwards, and that's how you press into the combos really well. So with Malzahar, his W has no GCD. When I mean GCD, I mean global cooldown. There is nothing in between the W that'll force you to stop to where you can't cast something else. So when you throw stuff at certain champions, the combo with Malzahar is gonna be Q immediately feathered into a W and then an E. When you do Q and you feather the W is going to come out immediately after Q, and as you press Q, the GCD off the, as soon as you press W, the GCD off the Q should have already ended, and then you can go into an E and then an ult. And then that's the combo that you want to play. Same thing with champions like Ezreal. When you fight someone, you want to start the fight by throwing R, and then as soon as you throw R, go into W and then E. So the R hits, then the W goes in, you E in front of the W so it hits you and the champion, and then you Q. So at that point you have 5 stacks, even if you only hit, it should be 5 stacks, even though you only hit one champion, because your R is going to give you a stack, your E is going to give you a stack, your W is going to give you 2 stacks, and then your Q is going to give you your 5th stack, which is going to max out your passive and give you a bunch of attack speed. So stuff like that. Same thing with characters like Lux. Lux, what you want to do is you want to hit your Q. If you see that your Q is going to land, like guaranteed no matter what, like, oh shit, this is hitting, immediately you got to throw your E right afterwards, and then R right after your E, and then let go of E, and then let go of E as soon as your ult ends, and then that's your combo with that champion. Now there's a lot of champions like that are based off combos, and you need to practice those mechanics, and most of the time you can practice those mechanics against bots, and you just gotta do it over and over and over. It's just like a fighting game. It's like, sure, you need to learn the fundamentals and you need to learn spacing and all that kind of, and text and stuff like that, but at the same time, if you want to optimize your damage, you gotta practice your combos. You gotta practice what's going to deal the most damage and what's going to punish the hardest for the amount of effort you put in order to attack the champion. Once you've gotten the mechanics down for your champion and against bots or whatnot, now it's time to start practicing against live targets. If you have a skill shot champion such as like Lux and all that kind of stuff, practicing your combo on bots is good and all, but usually they just take it in the face the entire time. So that's why it's really easy to practice your mechanics on them. But once you have the mechanics locked down, now it's time to actually start being able to aim those skill shots and being able to land them. So that's when you go into normals and you start developing your actual aiming skills when it comes to skill shots and stuff like that. And then after that, you go into ranked, and then you refine your skills even more by playing people that are either higher elo than you or roughly about the same. So you guys have roughly around the same skill level, so you can learn how to take advantage of them. When you want to climb out of low elo, you have to go for high risk, high reward. And what that means is just go for the suicidal plays. You've seen them in my highlight reels where you see me at like 10% health. Literally, I'll be at like 200 health, and I'll still go in. I'll still try to speed up a champion. I'll still try and see if they go into a choke point and throw a double bomb. I know that more than likely my team is going to get thirsty for my 10 health and they're going to switch to me. So you have to be ready to dodge and all that kind of good stuff. So you need to just always be aware of what's around you. You need to, when you go high risk, high reward, it's always almost worth it. Like, you always constantly want to do that. And that's what's going to help you carry games. That's the most important part, is you have to be the one. All the burden is on your shoulders. And so you want to go ahead and do that. With solo queue, yeah, some of the burden's taken off you because you have a friend that you're confident will be able to make plays with you. But if you're just going to be solo queuing, that's going to be your main job. So So you're gonna have to learn how to adapt to that. All I can really say is just practice, practice, practice. And then another thing with League of Legends, it's that this game is always evolving. Literally, they patch it every 2 weeks, as you can tell from months of playing already. If you're not that new to the game or whatnot. So there's a saying in fighting games. It's like nerf, adapt, and patch. So if luckily for me, my Zillion has literally gotten nothing but buffs over the recent months. So with him, the only adapting I really had to do was just know when my power spikes hit, because his bombs and cooldowns, all that kind of stuff, all the damage and all that kind of stuff just kept getting buffed over and over and over. So I just had to keep adapting to. It's like, oh hey, my cooldowns are shorter, so my power spike is going to be a lot earlier. It's like, hey, my bombs are doing more damage, so even earlier my power spike is going to happen. And so things like that. Like I remember before, my power spike would be at 6, and now it actually starts at level 4. Because with my E and having 2 bombs, I'm able to put down a shit ton of damage in lane. So that's when I try to play as aggro as possible. Once level 4 hits. So the best advice I can give you guys after my complete rundown is just, you guys just gotta practice. You gotta practice your champions. That's probably the number one thing I'd say I'd have to like try to put into your guys' head is just practice your champions. Practice them a lot. It's like I don't know if a lot of people do this, but I constantly practice against 1v5 against bots. Like I'm constantly trying to push my character to its absolute limit. Like, cause I need to know like what I can take and what I can dish out, and I just need to know when I can make a play or not against live characters and stuff like that. Now, when you're playing against bots, it's not really a strong representation since they don't have runes or masteries, but it pushes it pretty close when all 5 of them drop on top of you and you're dodging skill shots left and right and you're able to make a pentakill on them. It's like all 5 of them together basically makes like one life target, so it makes you adapt a lot easier and stuff like that. Since I'm a diamond support, the best advice I can give is actual support advice. So after everything that I've told you guys and stuff like that, playing a support in rank, in low elo, go aggro supports. Go for the ones that do damage. Go for the ones that can help you manipulate the damage on your team. All that kind of good stuff. When it comes to hitting plat and diamond and whatnot, that's when you can start playing utility champions. That's when you can start trusting your team just a little bit more for them to be able to make the plays and you to back them up with it. With Zillion buffs, he has become more of a poke / like aggro heavy champion since his bombs do a bunch of damage now. So over time, I've actually manipulated my Zillion gameplay to be more of a nuke mage in lane. So before I would have treated him as a utility support, but now that his bombs stun and they do so much more damage and our cooldowns are way lower, I treat him more as an aggro magey type support. So that's the way I play him. So even no matter what elo I'm playing Zillion at, I tend to do very good because, like I said, with all the buffs and all that kind of stuff, he's turned more into an aggro than a utility support. Eventually, when it comes into late game, yeah, he becomes full-on utility because at that point you don't have enough AP for your bombs to start doing like any amount of damage. So really, at that point, it's just your stun and your slows and your speed ups are gonna do all the heavy lifting for the carries. So it supports. You know, go ahead and keep playing support, man. It's a very important role. A lot of people sleep on that role, but it's one of the most important ones in League of Legends, since you're the one who's going to be controlling vision. You're the one who's going to be more than likely calling out the plays because you're constantly looking at your mini-map. That's one thing I forgot to mention. It's just look at your mini-map constantly. Like, don't keep your eyes off the mini-map. As a support player, honestly, besides the jungler, you're the one who's supposed to be the most aware of what's going on around the map. You need to know where everyone is at all times, and you need to be prepared that your team isn't blind, that they know where they're going. With that, you know, lay down as many wards as possible. Always go for an early sightstone. Always have a sightstone. Always have pinks. Always have your radar and all that kind of stuff. Manipulate the vision around the map. The less vision the enemy team has, the more they're scared, and the more opportunities you have to make plays since they don't know where you are, and you can do quick, easy sneak picks on enemy champions. Same thing with you. It's like all the stuff that I told you that you can do to your enemy team, you now can prevent on your team. So that's how that works. Die. So it's all just a back and forth. Honestly, in my opinion, I think support is one of the most important roles in League of Legends right now. And I'm not just saying that just because I am a support main. I honestly do believe that support is the role that carries most games. Unless, like, obviously, you know, your mid laner goes like 20-0, then yeah, sure, of course, you know, he carried the lane. But there's a lot of opportunities for support, and trust me, I do it all the time. There's a lot of opportunities where I single-handedly, because of me, I single-handedly won the game, and it's all because of my vision manipulation and the amount of plays that I just kept forcing down my team's throats in order for us to win the game. So with that, guys, if you have any more questions, anything like that, if you want me to go into even bigger detail about certain stuff that I might have missed, or just topics that just completely flew by my head, go ahead and leave them in the comments. I'll definitely take a look at them. I'll definitely reply to you guys' comments and try to give as much info deeper into the topics that you chose. And I'm here to help. You know, I like doing my highlight reels and all that kind of stuff without plays, but really I'm just here to teach you guys. I'm really just here to teach you guys to see if I can help you guys get into better elo and stuff like that, and just have fun with League of Legends. You know, League of Legends is fun, but it gets even funner once real plays start happening, or like once your heart starts racing and all that kind of good stuff. You know, once you start making plays that people link in Reddit, and you're just like, holy shit, dude, you know, that was me. Like, I did that play. That I made that character look like a complete idiot because of the play that I just did and manipulated his face for. So all that said and done, you know, good luck, guys. League of Legends, I've been playing it for 5+ years, and I still have fun every day, every time I play this game. So peace out, guys.